genocide! Stop the torture! In Tibet! Stop the torture! Stop the torture! In Uyghur! Stop the torture! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Release all the political prisoners! Release all the political prisoners! We demand! We demand! We demand! We Tibetan want! Dialogue! We Tibetan want! We Tibetan want! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Long live! Long live! Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Stop the culture genocide! Stop the culture genocide! Stop the torture! Stop the torture! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Stop the lie to the world! China, China! Stop the lie to the world! China, China! Stop the lie to the world! Stop the lie to the world! Long live! Long live! Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Stop the lying to the world!
Thank you.
Uygurlarga azatlık! Uygurlarga azatlık!
Ben bu yerde unutib qolibman boshlayishni. Bu yerda Vyetnamlik qarindoshlarim bor. Bularni bizga hissaslik bildirish uchun bu namoyishimizga qatnashib biz bilan shuar to'lash uchun bu yerga kelgan. Bularningki o'sha Yevropadagi diniy markazning raisi Boyanboyev boshda gap qilgan shu odamda shuni bir tanishtiraydim. Uningdagi qarindoshlar hammamiz boshqalarni gap qilsa diqqat bilan anglaylik. Ularni bizga hissaslik bildirish, bizni qo'llash uchun bu yerga kelib turyapti. Shunga har qanday odam har tilda gap qilsa, uning gapini diqqat bilan anglaylik qarindoshlar, ularga hurmat bildiraylik. Navbatda Marko vaqraymiz to'xta. Ya, meyada meymanlar ben gap tugan chaqda gap qilmaydi.
Bu sılay goluna anınga.
Navbatda Peter Winter tashkilotining raisi Marko Raspinti efendimni so'zga da'vat qilamiz.
Dear friends from persecuted people of different religious persuasion, dear friends, dear colleagues, dear distinguished speakers, I salute you on behalf of Bitter Winter. Bitter Winter is a magazine dealing with, an online magazine dealing with persecuted religious groups, religious freedom and human rights in China. It's published online in 7 languages. We salute you and we support you. We thank you for your testimony. You are great people. You have suffered much. This is why we are very honored, me and my colleagues in Bitter Winter, to salute you on this day. We have been founded just 6 months ago. We're very young, but we have accomplished very much. We publish, thanks to many people living in China, at the risk of their own lives, we publish every day documents, inside documents, videos, pictures, news, articles, telling the truth on China to the world. So help us, send us information, support us, spread the word. As it has been said before, we cannot do anything at all one by one, but one by one, together, we can make the difference. I do thank you for your testimony. Be brave, be courageous. God bless you.
Thank you. Freedom for Uyghurs!
Freedom for Uyghurs!
Freedom for East Turkestan!
Freedom for East Turkestan!
Freedom for East Turkestan!
Freedom for East Turkestan!
China stop the genocide!
China stop the genocide!
China stop the genocide!
China stop the genocide!
China stop the massacre!
China stop the massacre!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want justice!
We want justice!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want justice!
We want justice!
No freedom, no peace!
No freedom, no peace!
No freedom, no peace!
No freedom, no peace!
No freedom, no justice!
No freedom, no justice!
No freedom, no justice!
No freedom, no justice!
China out of East Turkestan! China out of East Turkestan! China out of Tibet! China out of Tibet! We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
China is guilty!
China is guilty!
Guilty of genocide!
Guilty of genocide!
China is guilty!
China is guilty!
Guilty of genocide!
Guilty of genocide!
Növətdə Washington, Mərkəzi Washington'da bo'lgan Kommunizm Qurbanları Təşkilatınınki vəkili Kristina of the Almighty God degan təşkilat var. Xitoyda Xristian təşkilatı bu. Bu təşkilat Uyg'urlarninki hozirgi vaziyatiga ko'ngil bo'lib, Amerikada, Yevropada bizningki ovozimizni anglitish uchun nurg'un xizmatlarni qilyaptilar. Shu tashkilotning vakili Beshkega so'z so'zlamoqchi.
Hello everyone, I'm a Christian from the Church of Almighty God. Today when China comes before the UN for its UPR, the Universal Periodic Review, it's my great honor to be here with so many organizations and associations that share the concerns about human rights in China and call for more attention to the issue of religious liberty. I salute the bravery of millions of Uyghur, Muslims, Tibetan Buddhists, Christians of house churches, and human rights activities who keep their faith, who, while subject to persecution, arrest, torture, and inhumane treatment, in the dreaded transformation through education camps. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, publishes from 1995 a list of groups it defines as Xiejiao. This term is often translated as Xiejiao as evil cause, but in fact means heterodox teachings. Definitions of this concept are weak, and in fact, the groups listed as Xiejiao are simply religious movements the government perceives as hostile and dangerous. My church, the Church of Almighty God, has been founded in China in 1991 and has been listed as Xiejiao in 1995. We are a Christian new religious movement, and we believe that Christ has returned us, Almighty God, lives with us today and teaches the fullness of truth. We were blessed with a quick, spectacular growth. In 2014, Chinese government sources stated that we have reached the mark of 4 million members in mainland China. Not only the CCP persecutes us, it has also launched a spectacular campaign of fake news against our church, accusing us of causing riots and even of a homicide. Thanks to God, Western scholars started publishing serious independent studies about our church in the last few years and prove conclusively that the accusations are false. The reason the CCP persecutes us is that as an atheistic regime, it hates our theology and is afraid of our fierce independence from state control and rapid growth. At least 400,000 brothers and sisters of the Church of Almighty God have been arrested. At least 43,000 have been subject to torture. And in preparation to the Universal Periodic Review of China, respected NGOs have documented some 80 cases of persecution to death in jail. 600,000 members of our church have left their homes and are on the run to avoid arrest. Several thousands have escaped abroad. Where often their refugee status is not recognized, due to false information about church, Chinese pressures and general hostility to refugees, sworn declarations and documents submitted to the Human Rights Council for the Universal Periodic Review tell the horrific stories of how too many of our brothers and sisters in China are hunted like beasts. Beaten and tortured, women have been raped in jail, and in several cases, traces suspect of organ harvesting were found on the bodies of those died in prison. Today we stand as one, Muslims, Buddhists, Christians, women and men of integrity, to demand that crimes of the CCP are finally recognized. The torturers and assassins held accountable, the refugees recognized as such, and the voice of liberty resonates at the United Nations. Thank you.
Uygurlarga erkinlik! Uygurlarga erkinlik! We want freedom! We want freedom! We want justice! We want justice! China shut down the concentration camp! China shut down the concentration camp! China shut down the concentration camp! Növbette Merkezi Washington'daki Komünizm Kurbanları Teşkilatı'nın vekili Kristina Hanım ne sözgü teklif kılımız. Bu teşkilat Amerika'da bizden davanınki yakşı menişi, tuyuluşu ve kollashga ega bo'lishi uchun nurg'un xizmatlar ko'rsatgan tashkilot.
Friends from Xinjiang, Tibet and Mongolia, East Turkestan, thank you, Omar. It is an honor to be here with you all today. Today in the People's Republic of China, the world's most populous nation, entire ethnic populations, your families, your friends, your loved ones are being persecuted because of their faith and their cultural traditions. 3 months ago, a little boy died in Xinjiang. He was only 10 years old when he died. The boy had to fend for himself after his parents were thrown into a re-education camp. Shortly after his parents' arrest, his drowned body was found floating in a local river. We don't know if he was murdered, we don't know if he committed suicide, or if he died in an accident. Tragically, we don't even know this boy's name. As Chinese officers refused to acknowledge that he died. Amin was only in her 30s when she died. She lived out her last months in fear, in misery, and in loneliness, in the terrible conditions that the Chinese Communist Party is subjecting these people to. She was arrested for harboring strong religious views and politically incorrect ideas. Amin suffered from a heart condition that went untreated in the camp, and eventually she had a heart attack. She left behind a 3-year-old orphan who is bereft of both of his parents today. These victims are just two casualties of the Chinese Communist Party's one-sided, brutal campaign against the Uyghur people, which has left no Uyghur family untouched. The CCP has thrown over 1 million Uyghurs into re-education camps. This has resulted in the largest incarceration, imprisonment of an ethnic minority in the world today. Virtually every family in East Turkestan has at least one incarcerated friend or relative. Among those detained are dozens of family members of the US-based Radio Free Asia, as well as family members of prominent Uyghur activists like my friend here, Dolkan Isa. Those living inside these camps are subjected to unconscionable violations of their human rights, of their basic dignity. I don't need to tell you what your people have suffered. You know. You have heard the stories, you have heard the witness accounts. But I know that the CCP has turned Xinjiang into a nightmarish, totalitarian surveillance state. The CCP is using state-of-the-art technology, including facial recognition and voice analysis, to control every aspect of the Uyghurs' lives. The smallest infraction of any of these rules can result in someone being thrown in prison for doing nothing other than practicing their cultural traditions or their faith. As President Kennedy once said about the Soviet Union, free countries have never had to put up a wall to keep their people in. But the CCP is building a wall of re-education camps, propaganda, brainwashing, and brute force to maintain control of its people. The CCP is not only isolating its people from the outside world, but it is also bullying the Uyghur people who escaped abroad to return home and threatening their families. The CCP is also committing cultural genocide against the Tibetans. Since invading and annexing Tibet in 1950, the CCP has murdered around 1 million Tibetan people. They have destroyed 6,000 Buddhist monasteries and forced 100,000 Tibetans into exile. And they've ruined 80% of Tibet's forests. The Chinese police state is so pervasive that Tibet has been described as harder to visit than North Korea. Yet the CCP is not content with merely controlling the Tibetans' land. It must control their religion as well. For over half a century, the Dalai Lama has been living in exile from his homeland, and the Panchen Lama, who is the second most important religious authority in your faith, has been abducted by the Chinese. This state of oppression has tragically caused more than 150 Tibetans to self-immolate in protest against these abuses. The officials responsible for these crimes must be held to account. In the United States, we, at the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation, are calling on our government to impose sanctions on the officials responsible for these crimes. We are also calling on the halt of exports by American companies of the technology that the CCP is using to build its surveillance state in China. And we are criticizing the American companies that have censored their speech to appease the CCP. My friends, we are gathered here today to ensure that China is held to account for its crimes against your friends, your families, and your loved ones. The United Nations was founded on the principle that the international community will never again turn a blind eye to egregious and atrocious violations of human rights. This body behind us here has a responsibility to stand up to tyrants and all those that abuse the fundamental human rights of people anywhere in the world, including in China. China has aggressively resisted any criticism of its human rights record, but we have witnesses to these crimes, and you are here with us today. You are holding pictures of your loved ones who have been disappeared, imprisoned, or killed by the Chinese Communist Party. Together, we will put these crimes on the record and continue to shine a light on these abuses until all of the ethnic and religious communities of China can practice their cultural traditions and faith in peace. Thank you.
Hoş, hürmet, kırındaşlar. Ma kendikiler bak çeşilip gitmarımız. Buraya cem olaylı. Bugün üçün aylaç tayarlık kıldık. Neçe min kilometre yedin.
Hemmimiz biz bir nefretimiz bile, gazibimiz bile şu artı olaylı. O binadakiler hiç olmazsa anlasın. 2000 kişi mi, 3000 kişi adam var. Bulanınki hemmimiz bir vakırsak anı zelzilegi keltirimiz kıyındaşlar. Freedom for Uyghurs!
Freedom for Uyghurs!
Freedom for Uyghurs!
Freedom for Uyghurs!
China shut down the concentration camp! China shut down the concentration camp! China out of East Turkestan! China out of East Turkestan! China out of Tibet! We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
Shame on China!
Shame on China!
Shame on China!
Shame on China!
Shame on Chinese government!
Shame on Chinese government!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
China stop the genocide!
China stop genocide!
China free our parents!
China free our parents!
China free our brothers!
China free our brothers!
China free our sisters!
China free our sisters!
China free our children!
China free our children!
Shame on China!
Shame on China!
Shame on China!
Shame on China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Kazakistan'ın kelgen kıyındaşlarımızdan Kazakistan'daki Uygurlar'ınki vekillerinin biri olan Kahraman Kamni, Kahraman Hocamberdi efendimni sözge teklif kılımen.
Assalamu aleyküm aziz vatandaşlar. Bayada neçe minliğin Uygurlar ve başka Uygurların dostları yığılıp 20 milyondan artık Uygurlarını 21. asırda bir millet süpütüde dünyaya uluk topu koşkan medeniyetlik millet süpütüde bir sivilizasyonun asas sağan millet süpütüde komünistik Xitay teröristler yok kımakçı, millet süpütü yok kımakçı. Bana bugün Meşhed'de şu Xitay'ını tizginleydiğen 3 güç var dünyada. Şunun biri Birleşken Devletler Teşkilatı. Şunun aldıda Moşu namayış bugündün tatlı yani bulunduğun yığınlar hemisi kağıt eldeki, umumen dünyadaki Uygur sayısı milli azatlık kürüşünün yeni baskıç buldu. Yeni belli kötürüldü. Bugün çokum karar elinde. Mümkün emez.
21. asırda bugünkü dünyada insan hukuku, demokratiya, liberal bazar iqtisadi degan bir zamanda özellikle Xitoyda butkul sivilizatsiyaga tahdid qilayotgan G'arbning afzalliklarini yo'q qilaman deydigan, Uyg'urlarning millat sifatini yo'q qilaman deydigan sivilizatsiyaga o'rin yo'q, mumkin emas. Üç kuch bilan kim ishlayotdi? Bizning dunyoda liderlik rolini o'ynayotgan Dünya Uyg'ur qurultayi mushu üç kuch bilan ishlayotdi. Qo'llashimiz kerak, qo'rqmay ilgirishimiz kerak. O'rta Osiyodagi shu jumladan Qozog'iston Uyg'urlari sizlarni to'liq qo'llaydi, aqallardan mangidi, qo'lidan kelgan ishni qiladi. Bizga ideal birlik, amaliy birlik, ma'naviy birlik kerak. Allah shunga yar bo'lsin. Hammanglarni mushu kurashda yana jiddiy mansa oz qoldi. Xitoy chekindi, ondan pachilindi. Cho'qim Uyg'urlar mustaqillik oladi. Yashsin Uyg'urlar, yashsin mustaqillik.
Tayvanliklar bor, bizni qo'llab kelgan. Shu Tayvanliklarning vakili Penjuan Li efendimni so'zga taklif qildim. Penjuan Li.
Hello everyone, my name is Paul and I'm a Taiwanese. Here representing Taiwanese, besides standing in solidarity with our Tibetan, Uyghur, Mongolian as well as Vietnamese brothers and sisters, I also want to speak a few words about my country. Being a very small country which has always been claimed as a so-called inseparable territory of China, we are under constant threats of violence and occupation by China and being badly bullied in the international society. Corporation apology to China and change the name of my beloved country into China, Taiwan. We are not allowed to get into this building behind us. We 24 million people are unrepresented in United Nations, and our existence and rights are neglected and undermined in the international society. Moreover, being a Taiwanese is a crime to China. A Taiwanese citizen, Li Mingzhe, has been detained and sentenced for 5 years on overthrowing the state, just like many of the Tibetans, Uyghurs, and Mongolian political prisoners. This forced disappearance and arbitrary detention is totally unforgivable. Today I'm standing here proudly as a Taiwanese, and we will always have our support to our brothers and sisters here. We have been demanding the release of Benchen Lama, of Dashi Wangchuk, of Professor Ilham Tohti, and all Tibetan, Uyghur, Mongolian, and other persons of conscience suffering in the Chinese prison and concentration camps. We have always been standing with Tibet, East Turkestan, South Mongolia, and other oppressed people, and we will always do so. So please, also stand with us, and we are always stronger together. And also, Jashi Chengria from Tibet, Human Rights Network for Tibet and Taiwan, want to say two limited words in Chinese, directly to Chinese people.
大家好，那我叫扎西切林，我在印度出生的一个藏人。我今天特别要讲中文，因为中国人要了解，今天我们大家在这边，因为我们不开心跟中共底下，中共底下不管汉人、藏人、维吾尔人、蒙古人，大家在打压的方式，大家不快乐，所以要大家加油。非常谢谢今天给我这个机会来这边的。Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Southern Mongolia! Free East Turkestan! Pagelo! Pagelo! Thank you.
This is navbatda Shveysariyaningki sobiq parlament a'zosi Jona Jonget efendimni sözge teklif kılma.
I will speak in French. Je parle ici au nom de la Société d'amitié suisse-tibétaine dont la section romande a été fondée voici quelques mois et également du groupe parlementaire d'amitié suisse-tibétaine qui m'a délégué pour le représenter et je vous prie d'excuser Madame Lisa Mazzone, parlementaire genevoise qui ne peut pas être là aujourd'hui. Le Tibet a été envahi par la Chine en 1951, prolongeant la politique désastreuse des empereurs et considérant que le Tibet fait partie de la Chine. Durant 8 années, le Dalai Lama et son gouvernement ont tout fait pour obtenir de la Chine le respect de l'accord en 17 points signé au moment de l'annexion. Mais rien n'a été possible, rien n'a été respecté. Et voici 60 ans, le Dalai Lama s'est vu contraint de quitter son pays. Parfois, un timide dialogue a semblé pouvoir s'amorcer. Mais en réalité, aujourd'hui, le Tibet est une colonie de peuplement chinoise. Les Tibétains sont minoritaires sur leur propre territoire, dans leur propre pays. La soi-disant région autonome du Tibet est une fiction juridique. Et ce qui subsiste de la culture et de la religion du Tibet est sous constante surveillance. Aucune liberté d'expression, aucune liberté politique n'existe au Tibet. Mais aujourd'hui, nous avons ici, sont rassemblés ici, tous les peuples et tous les territoires qui subissent le même sort, parce qu'ils sont sous la même domination, la domination de l'impérialisme chinois. Parce que si aucune liberté d'expression, aucune liberté politique n'existe au Tibet, elle n'existe pas non plus dans le territoire des Ouïghours, elle n'existe pas non plus dans le territoire de la Mongolie, elle n'existe pas non plus dans tous les autres territoires des soi-disant minorités nationales, en réalité elle n'existe nulle part en Chine. Et dans tout le vaste empire chinois, la démocratie reste un mot inconnu. La décentralisation n'existe pas. Pendant ce temps, les inégalités s'accroissent et un mode de vie destructeur des richesses naturelles et des valeurs culturelles traditionnelles est propagé et prend le dessus. Seule une Chine démocratique, fédéraliste, reconnaissant l'état de droit, pourra rendre justice aux divers peuples de son territoire et accepter vraiment la diversité sur l'ensemble des terres qu'elle contrôle. Aujourd'hui, nous constatons tout le contraire, une violation systématique des droits humains sur tous les territoires, sous contrôle chinois. Systématique car c'est un système qui est en place, qui est fondé sur la négation des différences, qui est fondé sur la négation des droits humains, qui est fondé sur la négation des droits économiques, culturels et sociaux des peuples qui vivent sur le territoire contrôlé par la Chine. C'est ce système qui doit changer. Le sort du Tibet en porte témoignage et en l'illustration. Vive le Tibet libre, vive la liberté des peuples sous domination chinoise, vive une Chine libre.
Növbette Türkiye'deki Mağrip Teşkilatı'nınki reisi Hidayetullah Efendimni sözge teklif kılman.
Esselamu Aleyküm. Aziz muhterem qarindoshlarım, Allah tanamaylarninki qadam tashrif qilib o'zimizning irodasini bayon qilish uchun tavranmas bir iroda bilan yo'lga chiqqanligimizni dushmanimizga va do'stlarimizga bildirib qo'yish uchun mishaga to'plashgan barliq qarindoshlarimizga minnatdorligimizni bildiramiz, rahmat aytamiz. Aziz qarindoshlar, yuqorida Meyli Dolqun İsa Reis ve başka söz kıyılan qarindaşlarımız ve mehmanlar Şarkı Türkistan'daki Xitayning Şarkı Türkistan'da ya Tibet'te ya başka Xitay asaratida yaşayotgan milletlerge o'tkazayotgan zulmini anlatıp geldi. Bu mesele üstünde tekrar gap qilishga ihtiyacımız yok. Şarkı Türkistan davası mana bugungi kunda meyli BDT'de, meyli Amerika Kongresi'de, meyli Türkiye'de mecliste, meyli Malezya'da, dünyanın her qaysi yerinde dünya gün tertibi qatarida kelyapti. Buna meyli ko'ryapmiz. Bu asanga tushmadi qarindoshlar. Bu asanga tushmadi. Xitoy bugungi vaziyatda Sharqiy Turkiston davosiga Xitoymi yangi bir sohaga bir maydonga qadam qo'ydi. Xitoyning bugundan tortib ta'laydigan kunlari boshladi. Sharqiy Turkiston davosining bugungi bosqan yangi bosqich, yangi qadamda yangi davrga keldi. Sharqiy Turkiston davosi bugun Xitoyning yeb yutib oladigan, og'zini aytib tutiladigan nuqtadan, halqidan o'tib ketib qoldi. Shuning uchun bugun ve bundan burunmu bir qancha qitim BDT'ninki inson haqlari komitetlarida javobgarlikka tortilib keldi. Ve başka yerdimi Xitoyninki Sharqiy Turkistondagi jinoyatlari kun tartib kelyapti. Qarindoshlarım, Sharqiy Turkiston ozodligi, Sharqiy Turkiston hurriyati, mustaqilligi o'mchayganga, tamoq yeg'anga kelmaydi. Buning uchun jinimizni, milimizni sarf qilgan holda ko'chalardan uylarimizga qaytmagan chaqda vicdanimiz bilan, ruhimiz bilan, fiziki bedenlerimiz bilan davomli o'yg'oq holda maydonga chiqqan chaqimizda bu da'vo taqib bugungidanmi 100 qat taqmi ilgirlaydi. Bugungi meyli Turkiyada, meyli Mishada ve başka yerda bo'layotgan faoliyatlar yeterlikmi? Yeterlik emas. Bu da'vo uchun xalqimiz izchillikni asos qilgan holda, uzun muddatli ko'z tutgan holda tashkilotlashish, tashkilotlarga ergashish, bularning programlariga rioya qilish, qo'llab-quvvatlash, moddiy va ma'naviy jihatdan yanada bo'lash orqali bu da'voni taraqqiy qildira olamiz. Ko'zlagan g'oya maqsadlarga yeta olamiz. Buning uchun aziz qarindoshlar, bu namoyishlar, bu teşkilatlarımızın dünyanın her qaysi yerda elib berayotgan faoliyatlarini xalq ommasiniki umumisi qo'llab-quvvatlashi kerak. Sharqiy Turkiston davosining oldi safidir bugun mishada turibdi. Sharqiy Turkiston davosining ana liniyasi motorlari mana mushu sahada, mushu maydonda turibdi. Buni bilish, buni ajizlashtirish, buni obrazini yiqitish, parchalash, milletimizni kutuplaştırış, acizlaştırış Sharqiy Turkiston davosiga jiddiy zarar elib kelyapti. Bunun için qarindoshlar, bu da'vo tayyor cho'p emas. Sharqiy Turkiston ozodligi cho'pni qaynoq suvda qaytib ichganga o'xshatsak bo'lmaydi. Bir faoliyat, ikki faoliyat, uch faoliyatdan keyin natija qana desak bo'lmaydi. Bugun mana natija shu. Sharqiy Turkiston tarixida tunji qitim masalamiz kun tartibga kelyapti. Xitoy hamma yerda javob berishga majbur bo'lyapti qarindoshlar. Onun için hammalarniki mushu da'vodan qilchi tavranmasdan tashkilotlarimizning faoliyatlarini qo'llab-quvvatlashini, mushu irodamizni so'ymasligimizni, bu yerga kelinmagan boshqa qarindoshlarimizni o'yg'otishni, doim safarbarlik holatda turishni talab qilamiz. Bütün Türkiye'deki qarindoshlarga salomini elib keldik. Türkiye'de mushu vaqt ichida hozir mana Ceneva'daki mushu faoliyatni qo'llab-quvvatlab minglarcha qarindoshlarimiz Sharqiy Turkistonlik ve yerlik tashkilotlar birlikda keng ko'lamli bir namoyish olib beryapti. Bu namoyishning maqsadi bugun sizlar bizga hamkorlashish, moslashish uchun. Meni vaqtim 3 minut deyilganligi uchun qisqa bo'ldi, ammo yurak ifodamni bayon qilganman deb o'ylayman. Inshaalloh mishada bo'lganligimizning o'zimi jiq narsa ifodalaydi. Dushmanlarimizga va do'stlarimizga yaxshi bir javob bo'ldi deb o'ylayman. Assalomu alaykum.
Uyg'urlarga erkinlik! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for East Turkestan! elchisi Doktor Ataullah Şahyari efendimni sözge teklif kılıman.
Bütün Şarkı Türkistanlar, karindaşlar. Hammalarına ölüm alırımız namıdan bu kutluk zafer için, bu kutluk vazife için, bu hizmet için, uzak yerlerden kelginler için hammalarına nait için kalbimden tebrikleyim. Ben ölüm alırımızdan her zaman halkımızın yanında beraber ikenlikini göz için Türkiye'den birkaç tane ölümümüz muşu faaliyetke destek veriş için, muşu faaliyetke katkıda bulunuş için geldik. Ben halkımızdan bu bir fakatlam namayişten ibaret emeslikini, bunun aynı vakitte halkımızdan her kandak zor ahval astıda, her kandak kıyınçılık ahval astıda mı birlikte hareket kılaydıqanlıqını, küçünü birleştireydiqanlıqını kösetkenlikinin bir namayendisi de qarayman. Hamınlar bilirsen ki Xitay hükümeti Şarkı Türkistan'da tarihte misli görülmegen derecede bir insanlık suçu işlevatıdır. Bir insanlık cinayeti işlevatıdır. Bu Xitay'nın yüzü için mi faydalık emez? Xitay'nın kelgüsü evlatları için mi faydalık emez? Biz işimiz ki bir gün Xitay'nın evlatları hazır Xitay'nın kan mışı zulmeden nefret ediyordu ve hazır Xitay'nın mışı atıbağlarının kan işlerinden hücül bulur da qarayman. Şoğa ben yeni bir eğiz gep bilen sözümü tükütümen. Hazır nurgulluğun dünyadaki özgürlük davası kılıvatkan, dünyanı başkırıvatkan çoğun devletler malum ölçüde Şarkı Türkistanlıqlarga bugün yardım kılıvatıdır. Elbette bunun rahmet etimiz. Ama biz bir Şarkı Türkistanlık olarak şunun düşünümüz ki bu kılıvatkan yardımda herkes bu yeterlik emez. Bugün Xitay, kankor Xitay'nın, Uygurlarının ısık kanıyla kollarını boyugan Xitay'nın bayrakları Birleşmiş Milletler arasında lepildevatkan bolsa, Birleşmiş Milletler'in daimi 5 komitesi azasının biri bolgan bolsa, mençe bununla dünya halkı elbette hicil buluş gerek. Bunu da isaf ediş gerek. Tarih bir gün elbette isaf alır da qarayımız. Hamıla köp rahmet. Allah razı olsun.
Rahmet.
Növbette Tibet Yaşlar Kurultayı'nınki bayanatçısı Tenzin Jigme efendimle sözgü teklif kılmak.
Assalamu alaikum, my Uyghur brothers and sisters. Kami only kumsam se shuyi hashtele. Free East Turkestan. Free East Turkestan. Free East Turkestan. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Herki Takpo. Herki Takpo. My brothers and sisters, I want to share a story with you. A story about a Tibetan. He was in his 50s, late 50s, and he worked all his life inside Tibet. And he saved up his earnings so that one day he could go to India and he could see His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And so a few years ago, he saved up enough money, he managed to get his passport, and he went to India and he saw His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And he attended the teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And when he was going back to Tibet, they caught him at the border. And they said, "Where have you been?" And he said, "I went to see His Holiness the Dalai Lama." And they said, "Okay." And they marked his passport with a red stamp and they sent him home. And the next day, the police came to his home and they said, "Show us your passport." And they showed him his passport. He showed them his passport, and they took him away. And they put him in a re-education camp. And they put him there for 6 months. He couldn't meet his parents, he couldn't meet his family, he couldn't see his daughter. And And each and every day, he was made to chant, "Long live Xi Jinping." And at the end of 6 months, they asked him, "Who is your leader?" And he said, "Xi Jinping." He said, "Who do you pledge your allegiance to?" He said, "To the motherland." And they let him go. But guess what? After 3 months, he was back in India. He was back to see His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And then again he returned back to Tibet, and they caught him at the border and they said, "Oh, you already have a red stamp." And then they sent him back home. The next day the police came, the police took him away, and they said, "Who do you pledge your alliance to?" And he said, "His Holiness the Dalai Lama." They said, "Who is your supreme leader?" And he said, "His Holiness the Dalai Lama." And they were shocked. They were appalled. They thought that they had brainwashed him. And then they beat him up. And when they were beating him up, he said, long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama." And he said, "You cannot separate the Tibetans from the Dalai Lama, and you cannot separate the Dalai Lama from Tibet." The Dalai Lama lives in the spirit of the Tibetan people and in the heart of the Tibetan people. So the moral of the story is pretty clear. But I don't think the Chinese government understands that such tactics, such policies that they introduced in Tibet and today that they are introducing in East Turkestan will not work. Those policies have failed. You have to listen to what your brothers and sisters are saying, not incarcerate them. You have to give them the freedom to speak their mind, not put them behind bars. We say, "Free Ilham Tohti." I say, "Free Ilham Tohti. Free Tashi Wangchuk. Free Tashi Wangchuk. Free all the political prisoners in East Turkestan and inside Tibet." As we gather here today, there is a very important meeting taking place inside the United Nations. And we have to continue to do this work. We have to continue to come together and be the voice of the voiceless. I was denied, and some of you know this, Brother Tolkan knows this, I was denied the opportunity to go and attend the meeting today. But we will not be silenced. I will not be silenced. The Tibetan people will not be silenced. And my Uyghur brothers and sisters certainly won't be silenced. Our Uyghur brothers and sisters have done a phenomenal job. Today the world knows what's going on in East Turkestan is wrong. And we have to stand with you. And you have to stand with us. And that is how we make difference. That is how we make change. We can't give up now. Today, when we gather here with Uyghurs, with Tibetans, with Taiwanese, with Hong Kongers, with Vietnamese and Southern Mongolians, Beijing is shaking in their pants. They're afraid. And they're afraid because we have truth on our side. They're afraid because truth has power. And they're afraid because change is on the way.
Okay.
Finally, I want to say this. We need to work together as a coalition. We need to support each other. We need to be there for each other. With clarity and purpose, we need to be united. Together, we can make change. Together, we can make history. Hope is on the way. Freedom is on the way. Change is on the way. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Free East Turkestan! Free East Turkestan! Free East Turkestan! Thank you!
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Uygurlarga azatlık! We want freedom! UN wake up! UN wake up! We want freedom! We want justice! China out of East Turkestan! China out of Tibet! China out of East Turkestan! Bu qiyindishimizdagi gapini hammanglar tushunmagan bo'lishinglar mumkin. Bir nima ta'sir qilgan, bir nima bo'ldi. Menga ta'sir qildi. Chunki Hazır bo'layotgandek Tibet'te bir neçe yıl avval mı şundak iş başlangan deydi. Bir Tibetlikine kirip Hindistan'a verip ki Hindistan'dan qaytib kelgende onu ekirip 3 ay türmede solap hiç gündüz bunun milisini juyup onun dinini inkar kılgızıp Dalai Lama'nı inkar kılgızıp en ahırda senin rehberin kim dese benim rehberim Xi Jinping sen kim için yaşaysan dese ben Xi Jinping için yaşayman deb çıktıken enandikin türmeden çıkıp 6 aydan keyin yana Hindistan'a veripti. Yana Dalai Lama'nı ziyaret etdi. Qaytgan çağda Xitoylar hayron kelib buniki biz ministr juğantık nim bo'ldi buningga deb akirib shunchalik qiynisi bu u yana debdi rahbaring kim desa Dalai Lama degan. Sen kimga e'tiqod qilsan desa Dalai Lamaga e'tiqod qilman. Kimning boshqurishini mana sen desa Dalai Lamani keldi debdi. Shunga o'xshash Xitoyning bu bugungi Uyg'urlarga boshqa musulmon qarindoshlarimizni yurgizayotgan siyosati oxiri amalga oshmaydi. Aşmaydı! Aşmaydı! Aşmaydı! O halkımız çıkkandan keyin Xitoyga qarshi şu nefret bile, şu hiddet bile, şu gazap bile çıktı. Şu gazap en ahir bizni qutqizib, Sharq Turkistonninki mustaqilligiga yo'l ochdi qarindoshlar. Umidsiz bo'lmaydi. Tarixda necha qitim yashalgan bu vakalar. Kürşat dastanlı isimlağı ilanlar. Şu çağda bu birinci Göktürk devletine ekirip gidip bütün hemmi halkını köçürüp eketken 40 kadem çıkıp Kürşat'ın rehberliği de Xitoy'daki padişahını öldürmekçi bulup öldüremey kalıdı. Lakin şu padişah korkup onun diken halkını bütünle yana özlerinin vatini kaytırdı. İkinci Göktürk devleti kuruldu. Şunun okşaş bizning bu hazırki bo'layotgan zulm, hazırki bo'layotgan şu besim bizningki davlatimizningki quriladiganligininki beshorati qarindoshlar. This one. Navbatda Janubiy Mongoliya qarindishimiz Dolgyun Hatkin efendimizga so'z beramiz. Bu qarindishimiz Ishki Mongoliya Xalq partiyasininki raisi.
Sayın Başkanım, Miss Dolgyun Hatkin, I am the president of the Inner Mongolia People's Party. I am happy to be here today to join the Tibetan, Uyghur and other brothers and sisters to standing solidarity to demand the United Nations and international community to hold China accountable. Southern Mongolia is a good example of how China denies the most basic human rights in fundamental freedom of the occupied nation, including Southern Mongolia, Tibet, and Eastern Turkestan. Mongolian activists and dissidents who ask of the most basic human rights are arrested and put into jail. Mongolian heads who defend their basic survival are subject to harmless arrest, detention, and embarrassment. Chinese mining company are destroying the Mongolian grassland. Mongolians are forced to become homeless and landless people on their own land. So we are here today to urge the United Nations to conduct through review on Chinese human rights practice to hold China accountable of what she has been doing to people of Southern Mongolia, Tibet, East Turkestan, Chinese people themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Növbette Şveysariyadaki teşkilatımızdaki reisi Andali Efendim'le sözgü teklif kılımız. Kerendaşlar bayam dedik. Bu namayiş Dünya Uygur Kurultayı'nınki yetekçiliğinde ve Avrupa'daki Sharq Turkistonlik tashkilot, Sharq Turkiston tashkilotlarininki hamkorligida bo'ldi. Bu tashkilotlar orasida bu Shveysariyadagi bizning tashkilotimiz bu namoyishlarning uyushtirilishida, bu sahnalarning qurilishida, bu namoyishning shunday go'zal o'tkazilishida nihoyat cho'ng rol o'ynadi. Shuningga bu tashkilotga alohida bir rahmat aytamiz. Shuningga bir chavoqchilik aytib qo'yamiz.
Qo'llag'uvchilari, sizlarni va bugun bu maydonga kelolmagan bo'lsa-mu, Uyg'urning ozodlik uchun kecha kunduz to'xtamay tirishayotgan fidokorlarimizni sizlarga istajlik qilib, yaxshi tilaklari bilan yenimiz yaralayotgan do'stlarimizni eng muhimi ana tuprog'imiz Sharq Turkistonda Uyg'ur milliy kimligini, or nomusini qo'g'dash yo'lida hayotidan ayrilgan aziz shehidlarimizni Xitoyning inson qassobxonasi tusini olgan lager va turmalarda insoniyat tarixida ko'rilmagan xo'rlik va zulmga qarshi Uyg'urning milliy mavjudligini qo'g'dash yo'lida kurash qilayotgan qahramon xalqimni Shveysariya Sharq Turkiston jamiyati nomidan yurakdan salomlayman. Xitoy ishg'olchilarining ishg'oli sababidan bugun bu maydonda va dunyoning har qaysi joylarida chaqnab, g'azabdan chaqnayotgan bu ko'zlar, volqondek yanayotgan yuraklardan chiqqan g'azablar iflos Xitoyning lagerlarini taqashqa, turmalarni taqashqa va mustabid Xitoy hokimiyatining yaqin kelgusida bitib bo'lishiga yaqilgan bir mashal bo'lib qolsin inshaalloh. Biz Uyg'urlar tarixning haqqoniyatiga ishonadigan va haqqoniyat uchun izchil kurash qilib kelgan bir millat. Birlashgan Davlatlar Tashkilotidan bu Xitoyning zo'ravonligiga qarshi haqqoniy bir qaror berishini talab qilamiz va shunday bo'lsa ishonamiz. Aziz qarindoshlarimiz, milliy mavjudligimizning qanchalik xatar ekanligini hepimiz bilamiz. Dunyo millatlar orasida o'rin olib, hur yashash uchun biz Uyg'urlarning millat sifatida texnik birlik bo'lib o'rnimizda turishimiz, kurashga atlanishimiz tarixning taqozosi va milliy burchimiz. Men tövəndə sizlarga bizga eng muhim bo'lgan O'yg'on she'rini, O'yg'on shuarini xotirlatib o'taman. Bizga 97 yil burun yozilgan, bizga ogohlantirish bilib kelgan bir O'yg'on she'rimiz bor. Hammamiz yaxshi ko'ramiz, ammo to'liq amal qila olmaymiz. Amal qilishga tirishaylik. Bu she'rdan maydon larzi kelsin, qani hammamiz birlikda. Har faqir O'yg'on Uyg'ur, O'yg'on yetar. Senda mal yo'q, endi ketsa jon ketar. Bu o'limdan o'zingni qutqizmasang, ah sening holing xatar, holing xatar. Yashasin Uyg'ur! Rahmat!
Yashasin Sharq Turkiston! Yashasin Uyg'ur! Mana vaqt oz qelyapti, 10 minut vaqt qoldi qarindoshlar. Ajab shu ar to'layolmay qoldim deb qolsizlar. Shuning hammanglar kelinglar bu tarafga. Gaplashmanglar bir-biringlar bilan mayada.
Namoyishlar topishaylik, bu yoqqa biroz kelinglar qarindoshlar.
Freedom for Uyghurs! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for East Turkestan! China stop the genocide! China stop the genocide! China stop the massacre! We want freedom! We want freedom! China shut down the concentration camp! China shut down the concentration camps! China free our brothers! China free our sisters! China free our parents! China free our children! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping!
want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! Long live! Long live! Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Stop the lying to the world! Chinese government! Stop the lying to the world! Speak the truth, Xi Jinping! Speak the truth, Xi Jinping! Speak the truth, Xi Jinping! Speak the truth, Xi Jinping! Helgi Dagbo! Helgi Dagbo! Gauri Bushi Kuzi Shabete Bushao! Long live! Long live! United Nations! United Nations! Xi Jinping! Shame on you! Xi Jinping! Shame on you! Xi Jinping! Shame on you! Xi Jinping! Shame on you! Xi Jinping! Shame on you! China, China, China! Out, out, out! China, China, China! Out, out, out! China, China, China! Out, out, out! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free East Turkestan! Free East Turkestan! Freedom, freedom!
Hamda Dostluk grubuningki reisi Thomas efendimni sözgü taklif qilaman.
In the name of the Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association, I'd like to thank you all from all the organizing Uyghur, Mongolian, Tibetan and exiled Chinese partners that we can be a part of this strong movement which will send so clear signals of hope but also uncompromising disclosure of the Chinese regime's disregard for the fundamental rights of the oppressed people represented here today. I am extremely moved by today's gathering of a united peaceful force in front of the UN building at a very important occasion of the UPR of the Chinese regime in the UN Human Rights Council here in Geneva. We show the world our united voice of truth against the constant, loud and increasingly more aggressive lies of the Chinese Communist regime. On the 2nd November at the Geneva Forum organized by the Office of Tibet, Geneva and the Tibet Exile Government, we have received overwhelming insight into the strategically sophisticated, oppressive machinery of China's rulers against the Uyghur, Tibetan, Mongolian, but also against the Chinese people. Under whitewashing names such as New Silk Road, Belt and Road, education or vocational camps, patriotic devotion to the religions, just to name some, the Chinese Communist Party is implementing harsh and fast-growing repressive institutions and colonialist methods inside China, but increasingly throughout the free world too. We clearly name these methods and call to the free nations to open their eyes, to recognize the dramatic situation themselves and make China accountable for its repressive policy now in UPR, but also in all bilateral contacts with the Chinese leaders. I thank you all here in Geneva, but also all our friends all over the world who actively spread the truth about the criminal Chinese gang who wants to foul the whole world with their lies and the sandy billions of dollars they put into our eyes through corrupt deals. So, wake up United Nations, wake up Switzerland, wake up Europe, wake up the world and be aware of the tricky Chinese dragon. Pögyalo! Pögyalo! Pögyalo! Salam alaikum.
Tourist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Go home, Xi Jinping! Go home, Xi Jinping! Go home, Xi Jinping! Go home, Xi Jinping! Dictator Xi Jinping! Dictator Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist!
Kızımızı sözge teklif kılma.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Adila. I'm from Australia and today I have a poem written by my cousin Munawar Abdullah to perform for you. You say you want peace and harmony. You want the unity of ethnic minorities. You want us all to be one big family. Uyghurs, Tibetans, Han Chinese, yet Falun Gong, Taiwan and democracy. The five of us are poison. The hypocrisy of your words reveal Chinese hegemony. Here is the peace you constantly proclaim. Our freedom is in jail, our mouths detained. We face economic advances that starve and maim, educational opportunities that divide and tame. Ethnic unity to prevent unification, anti-separatism that enhances separation, freedom of speech where our words are taught, and moving off script will get you caught. Religious freedom where our God is she, our only congregation is the CCP. And if we want to learn our tongue, and if we decide to keep our traditions, or if we happen to think a stray thought, perhaps a memory of what freedom once brought, we are chained en masse and kept in dungeons with chains like puppet strings, praising Xi Jinping, chains to destroy the language of the hearts within, chains to mold our brains to the party's whim. Hundreds of thousands in molding classes, cramped and tortured to re-educate the masses and mistake away from the killing gases. And those outside, those yet to be confined, must not forget their family or replace their seats inside. It's not prison, there is no sentence, they are interned for life or until they come out broken, a psych suicide. Witnessing the cultural cleansing, slow boiling genocide, unable to escape China's overheating ties. So they cut their ties from those overseas, for communication is a suspicious act. Or students cut their wrists to bleed for their parents, for after their parents they are next. Oh, but you see us smiling on TV? Yes, we shine with the reflection of our blood-stained properties, our sweat and oil, excellent commodities for a rapidly growing economy, and colorful dances cruelly twisted, so each step is a beautiful agony. So Uyghurs rise up, we are unwilling to rest, before our people can freely breathe, before we can leave our boundaries, before we can live as Uyghurs without being suspected of being radicalized, without our religion being terrorized, without our history being revised to fit a culture ready to be commodified, without being denied to learn in our language rather than of our language, a way of life brutalized for a shoe unfit for life. Thank you.
Freedom for Uyghurs! Freedom for Uyghurs! Stop! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist Xi Jinping! We want freedom! We want freedom! We want justice! We want justice! We want freedom! We want freedom! Növbette Tibet, Halkara Tibet Hareketi'nin vekili Vincent Beyton Efendim'le sözge teklif kılmak.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Tashidalek to everybody. I was at the Universal Periodic Review of China just now, and what is very clear is that China is trying to promote a new model a new model of human rights with Chinese characteristics, and they are very proud of it. And they say that development should come before human rights. So they are really putting a threat against the universality of human rights. They say they are universal, but there are different paths to reach that, and we do not accept this definition of human rights. They said also, the Chinese delegation, that there must be red lines to freedom of expressions, and that human rights defenders are separatists and terrorists. So I think that everybody here is terrorists and separatists, I think. And many countries in the room defended, protected China, and we know who they are. But there are also many countries who raise their voices to defend you, to defend your people, and to oppose what's going on in East Turkestan and in Tibet. And in Tibet, on Tibet specifically, the following countries raised the case: Australia, Austria, Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, Japan, Sweden, Switzerland, UK and US. So we are very happy, and we would like to welcome the statements based on this country. And I would say that the battle today will continue at the United Nations and in all European capitals and worldwide, because we will break the silence and we will continue to defend your rights, the rights of your friends, of your family in East Turkestan, in Tibet and Southern Mongolia. Thank you.
On behalf of the UNPR representations and people who are here today, I will just say this because other speaker would like to speak, and I will leave it for Tuan.
Thank you. I also want to greet you from Society for Threatened Peoples, and I would like to ask the Chinese delegation who is spreading their lies today at the UN to come out to you, to apologize to the people of East Turkestan, of Tibet, of Mongolia, but of course they are afraid. Thank you.
Vakit kalmaganlığı için bu birisi Vakalatsiz Milletler Teşkilatı ve yanı birisi Xatar asırki Milletler Teşkilatı'nın vekilleri fakatla rahmet etti ve Xitay'daki kılıvatkan zulmü için gelip bir şeyden çıkıp Sılahattin aslında bu soruş gerekti dedi.
Alo, kami namaz mamuş peşa tuçada şugi nasıl tüzü için alıp bir koca şey var. Kami diri sunga yemeç peşa hadi namaz zaman tuçes şugi incinada şugi. China has failed in all the 3 UPRs on China. There is no human rights at all in Tibet and in other occupied territories of China. The 152 self-immolations in Tibet is the barometer of the human rights situation in Tibet. In Tibet, Tibetans are punished, imprisoned, tortured and killed for being Tibetans. We welcome the UPR on China, but it has to be an honest and serious one, otherwise it is just waste of time and resources. Time is running out for Tibet, for the free world and for China as well. An uncomplicated resolution of Tibet is possible only during the lifetime of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Such a peaceful resolution based on human dignity will be an example to the free and civilized world and may be applied to everywhere in the world, including the occupied territories in China. Okay, just a minute. Our struggle will remain as long as the last Tibetan soul on this planet remains. May His Holiness the Dalai Lama live long. May his teachings of compassion and non-violence bless this beautiful but unjust world.
Last but not the least, I thank all who are involved in this important event. Thank you very much. Freedom for Tibet! Freedom for Tibet! Freedom for Tibet! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for Southern Mongolia! Freedom for Southern Mongolia! Freedom for Southern Mongolia! Thank you very much.
Hammalarga ko'p rahmat. Mishada bugungi namoyishimiz ketdi. Birgacha vaqt topdik-a, yana bir qitim namoyishga ruxsat etish qiyin bo'ldi deydi. Hech kimning ketkisi yo'q. Lekin ketish majburiyatida, namoyishni oxirlashtirish majburiyatida qoldik. Turg'un Hojimninki bir ishga qiz gipo ekan, shuning bilan namoyish oxirlashdi.
Assalomu alaykum qarindoshlar, xotirlatish bu faqat avtobusda kelganlar Germaniyadan. Va biz bilan qaytadiganlar dal soat 5 da mushu maydonga chiqishimiz. Avtobusning ikkisi tarafda, birisi tarafda beklayotdi. Saqlayotdi. Dal soat 5 da mushaga kelayli. 5 kicha ixtiyoriy faoliyat. 5 da mushada bu polayli. 5 yerimdan kashf qilsak, vaqt ketib qolamiz, vaqt o'zimiz ketishga majbur bo'lib qolamiz. Rahmat sizlarga.
Mana qarindoshlar, mana atrofimizga axlat, chavochat qolib qolsa, hamma ishlaydi. Joy toshitaylar, chunki yana bir qadam kelishimizning yo'li to'silib qoladi. Ulardan lozunkalarni ishlab kelganlar, Shirishga Uyg'ur jamiyati 80 ta ishlab kelibdi-kan. Buni ondan orqasi jamiyatlardan ip kessanlar bo'ladi. Qolgan uydan kelgan bayroqlar olib qolsa, ip ketayli, qolgan jamiyatning bayroqlari olib qolsa, ularni radlik chiroyli qilib to'plab akib qo'yib ketayli.
Yani bir nima qarindoshlar, mana Turkiyadan kelgan xonimlar bir yog'liqlarni ip keladi deb meyda bir xonimlar izlab topolmay o'tibdi, shuningga deydi, Turkiyadan yog'liqlarni ip kelgan xonimlar kelgan bo'lsa, bizga beyaga kelib, sahnaning yeni kelib, bular bilan ko'rishsa deydi.
Assalomu alaykum qarindoshlar. Ben Germaniyaga ketilgan va mushu Germaniyadan kelgan va boshqalardan kelib Germaniyaga ketilgan avtobusliklarni men Turg'unajim soat 5 kuningda dedi. Mening mashinamga 20:30 da chamadan somkalar bor. Men soat 5 ga yerda turmayman. Hozir qaytman, somkalarni, chamadanlarni mendan evasanglar, avtobus bilan mashinaning yanida bir yerdan 30 metr keladi. Hammanglar chamadan somkalarni elib olishinglarni tavsiya qilaman.